real talk, just rap pack. Besides that, nobody I trust.
Back again like I never left. Young Sinatra, that's to the death. We turned up till we go deaf.
Hi guys, and welcome to today's video, which is finally fitting the big brake kit on the Seat Leon. What you're going to need to do this is set of brakes, set of pads, set of discs, set of brake hoses and brake fluid, as you can see. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the wheels off first, then obviously jack the car up. Well, we're going to crack the bolts, jack the car up, take the wheels off, swap the brakes over, and I'm just going to basically do like a mini tutorial while we're doing it, just film as we go. Let's get into this. Alright, first of all, I'll crack them all. Yeah, which is that Torx bit in it. Yeah. Wait, right.
That's it.
What's that?
That's the main carrier bolt.
What size is it?
21.
21 carrier size bolt. They weren't too bad.
I put them on.
That'd be right. Some nice crusty bit of rust there. So the reason I'm actually changing these is because a couple of times my caliper actually got seized and it warmed it right up, and I had like multiple blue streaks around it because it got so hot. And I think it's slightly, ever so slightly warped. Like you can feel a brake judder when you really press hard on it. So it needed changing anyway. And coming to the end of its life, I thought might as well upgrade, because it was cheaper to buy second-hand bigger brakes than it was actually buy a new set of these. So that's why I've upgraded. And now we're just sort of still brushing anything that's got to have the new contact patch on, just to make sure it all has a clean surface to actually bind itself onto. And also copper greasing it, yeah, to stop it from seizing on. But yeah. These now bin. Right, so this is a before, which is a 312mm disc, to an after, which is a 345. God, look at the size of that. There you go. So that is the before and after. Quite a bit bigger, to be fair. Obviously, they're not drilled and grooved, but these are short anyway. So at some point, I'll change this to that style anyway. So now you're just putting on the 21 back in the other side. Should I do the bottom? I guess it's just bleeding it and then...
Done. Pump it out.
Yeah. So this is just taking the hose from the car, which has the brake, from the brake fluid reservoir to the brake hose, isn't it? That's just taking it apart. Well, as you can see, we've managed to get the caliper, disc and the hose on. Now all we have to do is bleed it to make sure there's no bubbles in the system. Right, let's do it. So this is 312mm before brake upgrade, and that is after 345mm brake upgrade. Look at that, look at the size of them, they're massive. What's crazy, they're the same brakes my dad has on his Q5. Obviously his are the more modern, with upgraded discs and pads, but they're still the same size to stop a car that big. Crazy. Right, so it's the next day. I've spent about sort of 60 to 70 miles driving with these brakes now. And what I sort of notice is, like, initially, because I assume the piston is bigger and how it sort of works with the brake master cylinder, like, I don't know if I have the same system as you'd have on the Cupras and stuff with the bigger brakes, or if I've got a smaller system, so it takes more effort to push the piston, or if they're the exact same, and this is just generally the caliper difference. But the difference is, like, initially it doesn't bite as hard, I assume because there's more effort to move the piston itself. So initially they don't bite as hard, but when you start to lean on them, properly put the pressure down on the brakes, they really grab up. So, like, I think if I brake test this now compared to the old brakes, this will absolutely annihilate my old brakes. Like, it just feels like the tyres are actually the weakest point now. Like, the car stops faster than the brakes stop faster than the tyres can cope. That's how good the brakes are now. So I now need to get a decent set of tyres on to sort of match how good the brakes are. And I don't know if you can see it on camera, because they've been sat around, they've sort of got a bit of rust on them as well. So I need to clean them up. They need to be used more. But basically, yeah, the brakes are so much more powerful, so much stronger, and with a decent set of Brembo discs and pads, or Brembo discs and EBC, you know, green stuff pads, these brakes would be phenomenal. They'd be so good. And they just look awesome as well. They just feel the wheel, they just look great. I know this isn't my sort of usual install video, but because I don't know how to install them, I needed my dad to do it. So basically, I just sort of time-lapsed him fitting them, and now my sort of review of them. Which, yeah, they're very good brakes, highly recommend them. Also, just like, it makes driving the car more fun, because as much as it's an animal to go fast, it's also just as fun now to stop, which is weird to say. But yeah, absolutely recommend them. The brakes are really good. Upgraded brakes is definitely one of the things that people sort of miss out on or don't do when they're doing a track build. Or, like, they forget to, stopping is as much as accelerating. Like, if you can stop fast, or if you can stop consistently, that is what you need. Good set of brakes, good set of discs, and a good set of pads go a long way. Like, if you're looking at getting an upgraded set of brakes to the FRs or the 1.9s or the Stylances, anything that isn't, I think, a Cupra or a K1, which come with these as standard, fully recommend them. They're really good, really strong, grippy brakes. You know, good performance. Like, get a decent set of discs and pads on them. You could track them easy. Like, they are good brakes. I know you can get like 6 pots and stuff like that, but that's a lot more expensive. The price that these cost me, I think you can get a second-hand set for like £300 odd. So really, it's sort of worth the money if you want to justify getting a decent set of brakes. Highly recommend them. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.